Hello, my name is Charlene Michek, and this is my ICT 299 project retrospective. I'm doing this retrospective to reflect on my project as a whole, to think about what lessons I can take away and any improvements I can make going forward. I chose to use the 4L template for my retrospective. I like it for its simplicity and how easy it is to understand. I just have to answer what did I like, what did I learn, what did I lack, and what did I long for during the course of the project. Let's start with what I liked. I like that I challenged myself. This was a tough project that no one had done before, including myself, and there weren't many resources that I could find that could help me accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. I also have never done anything with IoT before, so I had no idea how much was involved. I like that I learned new things. I was trying to avoid having to solder because I didn't even know what that was. I learned about it along the way and finally decided that I need to learn it in order for my project to move forward. And I like that I learned a lot about myself in the process, which brings me to my next L, which is what I've learned about myself. For this project, I bit off more than I could chew. Like I mentioned earlier, I started not knowing anything about IoT, and therefore I had no idea how I was going to accomplish my MVP. Firstly, I started too big. Instead of using the keep it simple method, I tried to do everything all at once. For example, I tried to apply 4 load cells and sensors when I should have just started with 1 and built on from there. I had unrealistic expectations. I thought this project was going to be a lot simpler than it was. I thought I'd be able to hook up all the sensors and they'd have their own dashboard and it would all just work. But I was obviously wrong. I also learned that I have no concept of time. Time went by so fast. I didn't even realize it. And I thought I had more time than I actually did. For example, I asked my sister if her husband would be able to help me build the scale for my project. She asked when it was due, and I said, "Oh, we have lots of time. It's not due until March." To which she replied, "That's next week." So in turn, I learned that I don't have any time management skills. Which brings me to my third L, what I lacked. I not only lacked time management skills, but project planning skills in general. I did not meet any of my milestones, but I did have a big hiccup in my project when I was sick. I was still working on my project while I was sick, but I was having a hard time deciding how to accomplish my MVP. I lacked the knowledge. I experienced a huge bottleneck with finding a dashboard to display the information that I wanted to display. And that's where I lacked communication. Instead of asking for help from the mentors, I tried to push through the problem by myself. I was very late on my MVP because of this, and instead of communicating my troubles, I kept quiet, which led the mentors in the dark and not knowing if I was working on my project or not, or what was going on. And that brings me to my last L, which is longed for. Going forward, I want to work on communicating with my mentors more and letting them know what is going on, good or bad. I want to ask for help when I need it. For example, right before our ConOps was due, I wanted to ask Carl for help because I couldn't figure out how to get my scale to work. But I got scared that he was going to be upset with me that I hadn't got my MVP done yet. So I ended up not asking him and then not being able to get my ConOps done. If I had just asked him, we might have been able to come up with a better solution, and I might have gotten my MVP done on time. Another situation is when the ConOps was due. I still couldn't get my scale to work, so I got frustrated and I decided to quit 299. Until I talked to Troy and Carl, who suggested that instead of trying to get 4 load cells to work, to just try 1. So I did, and everything came together. My scale worked. I was able to find resources for what I needed. It was like the lights turned on. And again, if I communicated my troubles and asked for help, I could have avoided the frustration altogether. And I would like to be able to manage my time better. I believe that the next project using project planning software would help manage my time, as well as having to-do lists, as well as having a to-do list and utilizing tools such as Microsoft Outlook to to set reminders for me. So, in conclusion, going forward, the lessons that I learned from this project are that I need to manage my time better by utilizing time management and project software, that I need to communicate better, whether that be updating my mentors or asking for help. I need to start smaller and use the keep it simple method and be aware of how big a project actually is going to be. And lastly, I learned that I liked learning new things, and I'm proud of myself for building my project without prior knowledge. Thank you for listening to my project retrospective.